Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we close in on the championship race here in the Sim500 Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series. Alongside John Mush and I have been Kilcrease and Aaron Grosskopf in the picture that you see to you down in the production van. And here we go, John. It's a super speedway, not the kind of super speedway racing that we come to expect at Talladega or Daytona. But this race right here is going to be one for the ages. And I do believe we're in for a heck of a show.
Absolutely 1000% agree with you on that, Ben. Indianapolis Motor Speedway is technically a super speedway at 2.5 miles, but it is the historic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 4 separate corners, 1 and 2 divided by a little short chute, 3 and 4 the same. And even though it looks exactly the same on paper and from high above on a satellite picture, to me, and I'm sure to everybody else that's ever driven it, it feels completely different. When you go down into 1 and 2, for some reason, it handles just a little bit different than 3 and 4. But it's a fun track, and it really is.
Yeah, and we mentioned, at most racetracks we visit, say our normal intermediate track like Atlanta or Texas, they 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 all kind of run together, John. It's really one big turn, and just in racing we call them 1, 2, 3, 4 because that's what we do here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, where the turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 originated on oval. It's really different here. You have a small straightaway in between the turns, and that's really what makes this track so exciting.
Absolutely, like I said, it just you actually have 4 turns here, and I'm like you. I try to explain it to people sometimes, and I don't get it. I only see 2 turns on Charlotte, and then the dog leg. I'm like, no, actually, that's we call it in the industry 1 and 2 there, and then 3 and 4 down there, and the dog leg in between. But here in Indy, like you said, we've got 4 separate individual corners. And 1 and 2, like I said, are separated by the short chute, as we call it, which is where a lot of action takes place, by the way, folks. We'll be paying a lot of attention to that tonight. But each end has a short chute in between, their respective corners. So,
Absolutely. Championship standings heading into tonight. Nicholas Cohan sits atop the board, or atop the championship standings, with 1,052 points. Now the top 8 drivers are locked into the chase for the championship. We've are in the second to the last round of the season, round 13 coming next week at Michigan. But tonight, though, John, Cohan leads by 1 point over Brandon Bowie. Larry Pace is 3 back. Comstock is 6 back, and Rivera 10 back. We'll go ahead and run through the top 8. 14 back is Chad Coleman, Trey Edson, 16 back, and Jason Jacoby, 31 back. So a lot of these drivers, I'd say from 5th on back, have a little bit of work to do tonight at Indianapolis, but the drivers leading the championship standings, Cohan, Bowie, Pace, Comstock, they've also got some work to do to try and maintain their positions and get as much points as possible heading into the final race of the season next week.
this is all true, and I tell you what, I was just watching qualifying while you were talking there, Ben, and I'm surprised by some of these laps we see on track. 52.8 by Jacoby, but really out of all the drivers that are here, only about half the field qualified. So it looks like a lot of these guys are going to elect to start in the back and see how things pan out, I guess.
Absolutely. 28 drivers strong here tonight at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and let's take the time to now run you through the racingbids.com starting lineup. Inside of row number 1, he'll lead us to the green flag. We like to call him Mr. Excitement. Jason Jacoby's in the number 39, and David Comstock rolls off into 42 to his outside.
Inside row 2, Brandon Bowie in the number 88 to his outside. Anthony DeBarro, he had a really good lap in practice, but couldn't quite back it up in qualifying.
Rolling off 5th, Nicholas Cohan in the 21. To his outside, it'll be Larry Pace in the 00.
And coming in inside row 4 there, Bobby Wetzel in number 9 to his outside, E.J. O'Rourke in the 41.
Trey Ensign going to roll off 9th in at number 10, and Nelson Rivera riding out the top 10 there. John, as we'll see if I'll let you dial up our pole sitter tonight and see what he's got to say heading into the green flag here at Indy.
That's right. We've got Jason Jacoby, our pole sitter. Not his first time up on the front row this year. Jason, you got me. This is John on the mic.
Hey, John, I got you. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. You're doing even better, my friend. You had a pretty good lap there in practice, a 52.6, but your 52.811 got you the pole for the race. How you feeling about that pole, my friend?
John, I feel great. I mean, I think I owed all you, buddy, for the good luck wishes before this one. I was really surprised to get the pole. I thought I was going to be maybe 10th or 12th or so. Sure enough, it was a pole lap. And John, thank you for the good luck wishes before this one, man.
You're awfully welcome, my friend. Well, we call you Mr. Excitement, so I know this is, like I said, it's not your first time up front, but you've got 60 laps to worry about here from start to finish. What's your plan going to be at the start? You going to try and take and keep that lead, or are you just going to try and save your stuff and see how long it goes?
Yeah, I'm going to try to make as least mistakes as possible. If that includes not burning up the tires and stuff like that, then I will try to do it. I'd like to shout out to everyone watching and the Lombard Bros as well for their friendship and having them on the sim car here today. But I'm just going to try to run smart, smooth, make no mistakes. We'll see if I actually do that once the green flag drops here, but that's the plan.
All right, buddy. Well, we see you guys rolling out now, so good luck tonight. Tighten your belts and get ready. It's about to go green, bud.
Thanks, John. See you guys.
There you have it. Jason Jacoby on the pole for tonight's event, and of the top 8 heading into tonight, he's got the most work to do. Sits 31 points back, and even if he finished first and everybody else finished last and on up the field, he would still not be enough to take over the championship standing. So he's hoping for a miracle in the final 2 races, but he's starting it off about as good as you can. On point, leading us to the green flag. Comstock to his outside, also in the chase. Bowie in the chase. DeBarro would have been in the chase. Had to miss a couple races, so that's going to put him out of it. But Cohen starting 5th in the chase. Larry Pace 6th in the chase. So 5 of the top 6 drivers in the chase, heading into the second to last round of the championship. Well, beautiful sight here at Indianapolis. 4 unique turns, 60 laps the scheduled distance. They'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. We've got the tire-saving veteran on the outside, Mr. Excitement on the inside. That's the front row. The green is out. We're underway at Indy.
Another nice, smooth start by Comstock there. Everybody says, well, he's losing. He's not really losing. That's just Dave Comstock for you. He's smooth on his throttle. He's not going to spin his tires. It's going to give Jacoby a chance to take that lead away, but he doesn't lose anything else. He's still right there in second. In the meantime, back there behind him, DeBarro's got his hands full with Bowie down there in that 88 on the inside there, Ben. Let's see who comes out of this turn with the third place spot.
Looks to be DeBarro with a slight advantage to the back straightaway, but they'll race side by side for the time being. Heading down and into turn number 3, DeBarro, though, pulls a little bit ahead, gets the draft from the cars in front, not able to take the third position away, though, down into turn number 3. Bowie with the advantage down there. You'll see through the short chute. They get straight for a minute and right back down to turn 4. It's really, really tough here, John. We talked about the intermediate tracks, the cookie cutters, we like to call them. On those tracks, John, you have 1 apex on each side of the speedway. Here at Indy, you have to hit 2 apexes at the end of both straightaways, and you got to do it perfectly or it kills your straightaway speed. It's really a unique racetrack, and it takes a lot of driving ability to be fast here.
Absolutely. There's a thing in racing we call running out of talent, and if you do that here, Ben, you've got basically 6 spots on the track where there's a wall that's going to say hello to you when you run out of that talent.
Absolutely.
You touch on it really great there. You've got to be real careful going into these turns, and you got 4 of them to worry about. You got 2 different apexes on each end of the track. There's just a handful of drivers here who are really considered masters of this track. And tonight in the Sim500, maybe we'll see another one.
We'll see who's going to sort of tame the beast known as Indianapolis tonight, as it's Jason Jacoby early on here at the Brickyard. He leads lap number 2, sets us up for lap 3, and he's got already a half second over, now 6/10 of a second lead back to David Comstock.
I tell you what, though, I'm kind of wondering, Ben, if this isn't Comstock just saving his tires. Jacoby's out there in the lead. He's got all that clean air, and he doesn't really have to worry about taking anything from anybody as far as spots go. So I'm just kind of wondering if maybe Comstock's just not chilling out, saying, "Go ahead there, Jason. Run your grip. Run your line there. Run your race, and I'll see you in about 10 laps."
Comstock also sort of playing it smart with the drivers behind. He's putting just enough distance between he and Brandon Bowie, the other RacingBiz.com machine in the field. When you have somebody tucked up on your spoiler, John, it takes the air off your car. It really affects the handling. Almost makes you feel a little bit more loose on corner exit and even in the center of the turn. So Comstock being smart about that. He is all about tire conservation. He knows how to push it just enough to stay in front of the car behind him, not to get loose and sort of heat those rear tires up. He also knows just enough to push it and not push the envelope and wear his stuff out, trying to stay with Jason Jacoby. And it's going to be one of those tire conservation races here, John. I don't see this race having a lot of short runs. I think, well, now that we've got the restart out of the way, if everything goes smooth, we could go from a green flag all the way to checkered, and that could set us up for some nice fuel strategy in the middle of the race, and that tire strategy as we've been talking about since the drop of the green.
Absolutely. I didn't have a chance to talk to anybody and get my notes about fuel mileage, so I'm really not sure how far these guys in the Xfinity car can go on fuel in tonight's race at Indy. But tires, really, if they take care of them, and we know Comstock's a master at that, I could imagine actually seeing some guys stretch these tires out to the end of the fuel run.
Absolutely. I think if we can make it on fuel, splitting it halfway, we'll have to wait and see, though. 2.5 miles here at Indianapolis, all the way around the racetrack. So it's a big track, and just have to wait and see how the fuels kind of plays out here this evening. Larry Pace trying to make his way up through the field. He'll get to the inside of Brandon Bowie, and looks like he'll bring along Anthony DeBarro with him. DeBarro now looking to take over the 4th spot away from that number 88. So Bowie gets a good jump early on. He started 3rd. He's back to 4th now and in jeopardy of losing 5th, but he'll get the run off of turn number 4 to the front straightaway. Just enough to fend off that 27 for now.
That's to tell you what, that was a smart move right there. They didn't really push that issue too hard. I would like to think that DeBarro probably just backed off a little bit and said, here, let me gather my stuff back up, cool my tires off, I'll make another run at this. But in the meantime, we're pretty much single file all the way through the field, looks like here, Ben.
Absolutely. So, Jacoby leads, Comstock 2nd, 3rd to Larry Pace, 4th to Brandon Bowie and Anthony DeBarro. Going to round out the top 5. Championship leader heading in to tonight, Nicholas Cohan sits 6th, but the way they run right now, it looks like he would be scored around the 3rd or 4th position. Larry Pace, Brandon Bowie only 1 point out of the lead heading into tonight. He sits 4th. Pace was 3 out. He's up to 3rd, and Comstock, who was 6 out, is up to 2nd. Good side-by-side battle between the Kickass machines behind. It's Edson getting around the 41 of O'Rourke, and he's looking to bring the 22 of Rivera with him.
Yeah, it's a pretty good little battle going on back there. In the meantime, I'm looking back here at this Tabasco car of Dwayne Vincent. He wiggled really bad last time through, what are we in, 3 and 4 now? So I guess that would have been 1 and 2. It's a little early for them to start getting loose, though, don't you think, Ben?
I think so. It's only lap 7, but if you are pushing your stuff a little early, John, the tires can get heated up, and I wouldn't rule it out, the possibility of getting a little sideways. It looks like there may be some damage almost to the rear bumper of that car. Maybe just been the reflection, but I was going to say if he got a bump early on, it may have turned him sideways and heated those rear tires up even more. But seeing now, this looks like a reflection on the rear bumper. But nonetheless, though, Vincent just outside the top 10, kind of riding at the tail end of a small pack here. Another driver to keep your eye on, John, would be that number 20 of Chad Coleman. Started 14th, has worked his way up to 12th so far. He's also a good driver at saving tires. You know, I was racing against him Monday night in the Trans Service Cup Series live right here on the Sim Racing Network, and not going to lie, I had to start way back in the field due to a qualifying mistake, and I kind of blew by Coleman around the 18th or so position. I made it up to, just inside the top 15, and then here comes Coleman, just absolute blew the door numbers off my car. When he blew by me, I was like, uh-oh, I did something wrong, and he's doing the right thing. So Coleman's another one of those guys that if this race goes all the way green, keep your eye on him. A multi-time champion here in Sim500 competition, looking to go to victory lane tonight at Indy.
I'll tell you what, you bring up a really good point, though, Ben. I've done that myself in a few races. A lot of it to be open. I'll I'll drive my race at the start of the race. Oh, we got a caution on track.
Yeah, caution out. That'll be for the first time tonight here at Indianapolis, and take us a minute to find out where exactly it came from. Looks like it'll be the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach being involved in a big incident over in turn number 4. Just maybe missed the apex there, John. Up and into the safer barrier. Upside down he goes and takes out the pit cone on the way. So Matthew Welzenbach, his race going to be done just that quick here at Indy.
Wow, I'm not real sure what happened there. If he had maybe some sort of equipment failure, I don't know, but he just went straight up into the wall, hits that wall, and goes straight down the inside. He never even slowed down. He almost gained speed, it looked like there, Ben.
Yeah, when you bounce off turn 4 there, John, I've done that before. It almost surprises you that first you hit the wall and then that you're spinning, and by that time you're already into the inside safer barrier and just hoping and praying you don't hit the end of the pit road attenuator there. So nonetheless, caution out for the first time here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm sure we'll see 4 tires and fuel on the pit road. We'll see that on corner-to-corner coverage because we're going to take a quick commercial break. 1/6 of the way complete so far here at Indianapolis. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jason Jacoby led heading onto pit road. Not the case heading off as we turn the lights off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car Comstock. John going to take the lead with Larry Pace up to second, and Jason Jacoby, our early race leader, has fallen back to third for this restart.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what happened there, Ben. He didn't slide through his pit box or anything. He just, I guess, had a slower pit stop than everybody else. So it cost him 2 spots on track. And we'll see how he handles being behind 2 cars. Actually, he'll be inside of pace on this restart, I'm pretty sure. And we'll see how that handles for him. You know, that we talked about that dirty air and clean air thing last week and this week. It exists, believe it or not, here in iRacing.
That it does. And, boy, especially in the new Cup package, you won't get a big taste of it this coming Monday at Phoenix, but the next week after that at Auto Club, buckle up. It's going to be a game changer for sure. Interested to see how that's going to go. Back to this one, though. Not a lot has changed on these cars. Just some minor tweaks here and there, but nonetheless, still the same great racing that we've come to know and love here in the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series. It's Dave Comstock leading us back to the green flag alongside Larry Pace. Taking over in the Wednesday slot time for Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series when it comes to a close next week at Michigan will be the WCIparts.com Truck Series. That'll also be live right here on the Sim Racing Network. And to find out more information on that series and to get signed up, head over to Sim500.com. Nonetheless, so pace car set to head down onto pit road, and we're set to restart this thing on lap number 12 of 60. We'll be coming to 13 now. The field, we might see some checkups here. Everybody getting a little antsy on the start.
Wow.
There you go. Some guys jumping out of line. The green flag back in the air.
We're not real sure how the officials are going to view a lot of these guys changing lanes like that, but if it was to avoid a slow car in front of them, I'm sure it'll be okay. But in the meantime, that really bunched everybody up back there from second on back there, Ben. Looks like Pace is going to come out of there clean with second spot. And the 39, our former leader of Jason Jacoby, comes out in third. Fourth is clean now. That's the 21 car. Somebody we hadn't talked a whole lot about, but that's our points there, I believe, right, Nick Cohan?
Absolutely.
3 wide going down the backstretch here. Or he changes his mind. Wow.
Now these guys, oh, wow, that was a close call there as Edson and DeBarro almost come together. Heading down into turn number 3, Edson looking to have the position on DeBarro, at least for now, but watch off turn 4 as DeBarro going to try and get that run to the front straightaway. Who's going to put the power down first? They're dead even. O'Rourke going to go down to the bottom to help the other Kick-Ass Beef Jerky machine right in front of him, but still a dead heat at the line. DeBarro had the position at the flag stand, but they are still side by side. Nobody giving an inch on this restart. Track position going to be crucial here, and you're seeing 2 drivers go at it just for one position on the racetrack, a top 5 position, and off turn 2. How about that for a slide job? I don't think DeBarro was too happy about that. DeBarro muscles his way back to the outside.
I'll tell you what, DeBarro was not happy with that at all. He gave him a little shot in the bumper down there, coming down the back stretch, which made that 10 car wiggle just a little bit, which is enough for DeBarro to draw back up beside him. In the meantime, behind both these guys fighting is a teammate of the 10 car, E.J. O'Rourke in the 41. I tell you what, Ben, if they keep this slicing and dicing up, they are wearing their tires down driving like this.
And Edson again with a slide job off turn 4. DeBarro going to get the run to the front straightaway, but going to hold himself in line, at least for the time being, as they race down into turn number 1. Just in front of these guys. Good battle there between Jason Jacoby and Cohan. You see a little bit of damage to the rear bumper of Cohan from that restart checkup. Cohan trying to battle with Jacoby to the inside. That's the championship leader. He'll get that 3rd position, and boy, that just goes to show you how big clean air is. John Jacoby really not taking off to a big run, a big lead like he was on the initial run back here in dirty air and dirty traffic.
Well, I think another thing to keep in mind is where you're at when you restart is going to dictate how you drive. If you expect this thing to go long and green, you don't want to be too aggressive on this thing, so he could be thinking about that, or it could be, just like you said, he's having a hard time handling that dirty air, and maybe it's got his car a little bit more tighter than he likes.
Absolutely. So as we continue to race in this run, boy, Jacoby right up on the bumper. Yeah, and you know, Jacoby may see the damage on the rear spoiler, and he may be trying to take the air off the rear bumper of Cohan, trying to loose him up. In these cars, John, especially here at Indy, with the speeds that they're running and the aerodynamic, the capabilities that you need in the corners, very flat corners here at Indy, by the way, you really need every help you can get. And when you get the air sucked off the back of your car, sometimes it doesn't take contact to do it. That's what Jacoby's probably trying to do to Cohan right now. Take that air off the bumper, slow him up in the center of the corner, and get the run on him on a straightaway.
He's just letting Nick know that he's back there. That's all he's doing, man. He's just saying, hey, buddy, I am still here.
Absolutely. What a show these guys are putting on for us here at Indianapolis. Great racing throughout the field. And, you know, if you're a fan on TV watching, you say, boy, they're getting spread out. It's just single file racing. It's not that exciting. Man, you're watching the wrong show. These guys are giving it their all every lap. We work lap 17 of 60 right now, not even close to halfway, and these guys are racing like they're racing for a win. Let's go back to the battle for 15th with Dan Denayer leading Bobby Wetzel and Dwight Beverly, and Chad Cole's in the mix there, and you even got Judge Judy, a.k.a. Boris Cook, in the mix as well as they work through 3 and 4. Big gaggle of cars right here, John.
Yeah, Judge Judy. I've never heard that one about Boris, but yeah, huge gaggle of cars right there. Look at this. Wetzel's got that inside line. The 16 looked at make it 3 wide, but thought better of it. In the meantime, I can't even see what car that is back there. Was that Boris? That 60? Yeah, that's Boris back there. The 63 looked to make it 3 wide, and somebody just blinked out there, so I hope that's not an internet issue coming. But with the storms in the air, they probably could have a few guys blinking in and out tonight. But I tell you what, that's a big group of cars right there, Ben.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on this pack for a little bit. I called him Boris Book. I was thinking of Judge Judy throwing the book in my defense. Boris Cook, though, riding behind Chad Cole. I may have caught John off guard there. He chuckling over there, but nonetheless, Wetzel leads this nice little pack and down into 3 and 4. Look at Chad Cole starting to work his way up through the field. He's been hung out around the 20th position all race long. Johnny fell back a little bit, and there's some contact behind him. What a save by Randy Yoakum off turn 4. That's really going to shake things up here. Michael Keaton, 4 positions in one straightaway for the 7.
He didn't even check up when he saw that mix up in front of him. He took full advantage of that. Made it 3 wide going down the stretch, took a couple of spots there. In the meantime, Yoakum's finally gathered back up, but I bet he's still trying to control his breathing right now.
Absolutely. What a close call there for the drivers on the track, and some still just great racing going on back here. They're trying to get themselves sorted. Here comes Cook trying to make a move on Wetzel. That would be for the 15th position. So Boris Cook trying to work his way up and into the top 15 after starting 18th. Whoa, look out. Dan Denayer, sideways, saves it again. Some great driving.
That would have been the 45 of Dan Denayer. I don't know what happened up there.
And now they're crashing. The 16 into the wall, and a big one on the front straightaway. The 80 of Creighton is in the inside pit wall. No caution.
I can't believe that didn't bring out a caution.
And there it is. Finally, caution will come out.
Top of the wall.
But Mark Creighton, what a wild ride for the 80. As we get the replay pulled up, that all happened. Well, at first it started with Denayer getting a little sideways in the short chute. Then the 16 kind of hit the rumble strips, and he got out of shape. Calantoni got out of shape down into Beverly. Beverly gets turned sideways, gets into Welzenbach. Welzenbach down into Creighton, and then Creighton up and on the wall.
You don't see that kind of a wreck very often here at Indianapolis, but there it is, folks. We got what we call that, a fence sitter. I
guess so. He's still sitting on the fence with that nickname, John.
I'm sure he is. In the meantime, that's going to give us some pit stops. And I'm wondering, they've only been out now for, let's see here, they've been on track for about 8 laps. You think we'll see some 2-tire stops?
Oh, I don't know. 8 laps is quite a good distance here at Indy.
16 miles.
Yeah, little more than 16. Yeah, but I think everybody's going to be on 4. We may see somebody mid-pack try to. It's still early on.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Jacoby take 2 to try to get his lead back.
That's true. That is very true. I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody maybe like DeBarro, who sits 6th right now, who is really fought for track position all race long. Maybe try two after that little stint. All this up in the air. We'll have to wait and see what everybody does. But perfect time to try it in the race. It's still 10 laps
really
to
early,
go
yeah.
until halfway. So, I mean, why not?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, and we know we've got some gamblers here at Sim500. We've seen it before with Comstock stretching his fuel mileage 60 some odd laps that race the other night. So we'll see what happens here. They come down pit road, Ben. I'm saying we're going to see somebody. I bet we'll see somebody take two tires.
So I have to see where that somebody comes from as they pace or they're really racing as fast as they can down pit road to try not to get a penalty. They're not pacing. They're trust me, they've got it as fast as the radar gun will allow them down and into their pit boxes. Everybody looks to have made it in. No, DeBarro slides through. Now perfect time to throw on right side tires and just get down and away, not lose a lot of position. We'll see if he does so. He doesn't, but Brandon Bowie does, and just like that, Bowie will take the lead.
Bowie takes the lead, comes out, Comstock comes out second. It looked like Pace came out third. Jacoby lost another spot on pit road, only because he took 4 tires versus Bowie's 2. But other than that, they came out the way they came in there, Ben.
Absolutely. Chad Coleman going to restart around the 7th position, I do believe, and he is also going to be on 2 tires in that number 20. So we knew we'd see a couple try it. DeBarro going to be the big loser on that one. So we'll take a quick commercial break while we're under this caution period. We'll be back just in time for the green flag. You won't miss that. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to the Brickyard, and Brandon Bowie, we talked about it right before that caution, taking 2 tires after a little 8-lap stint there, John. We're going to see how the 2 tires shape up against the 4. And if you recall back to Iowa in the season, Bowie is he's known for taking 2 tire risk. At Iowa, really helped him out. He said it helped the car turn better. It loosened it up, which is it fitted his driving style more than maybe being a little tight. So we'll see. We'll see if Bowie is able to do anything with the 2 tires here.
Yeah, but Iowa is not quite the same.
Completely different beast, yeah.
As Indy, where he's going to be screaming down on that turn about 180. And if those left side tires aren't real happy with him, he's going to find out real fast. Well, but I don't know, man. I'm going to be honest with you, Ben. I don't think it was a mistake at all. I think it helped him, gain position, so he'll have clean air. He controls the start, so he's not, we've seen it time and time again. The leader on the restarts usually keeps the lead and gets out to about a 3 or 4 car length lead. So as long as he doesn't spin those weak left side tires, he should be okay.
Absolutely. So we'll see how the restart's going to be for Bowie. He's going to have a little bit of cloud cover for this restart as they work through 3 and 4, getting set to head on down to a very long front straightaway here at the Brickyard. Interstate Batteries weather at the track. Currently 80 degrees air temperature, track down to 117. That's dropped a couple degrees over the past couple seconds. Wind north at 2 miles per hour. As we set rack 'em and stack 'em, flagman has the green flag. It's back in the air. We're back racing into turn number 1 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A good restart for the 88, and boy, Jacoby was pushing Comstock.
Damn fine restart for Bowie up front in the 88. Jacoby was hoping to push Comstock out there and clear that car of Larry Pace, but he didn't. And now they're going to be 3 wide going down into this next turn. That didn't last long. Pace thought second of it, but I tell you what, Jacoby on that outside line is really fighting for his second spot. I think he really wants to try and get as many positions as he can on this restart. Comstock's having none of that, though, right now. And back there behind him, it looks like Pace has fallen into the hands of Nick Cohan in that 21, who's going to take that spot away. I don't know if maybe Pace...
and now Pace is around in front of the field for the 00.
Wow.
Everybody looks to avoid him, but
I can't believe
call
that.
there.
Oh, wow. He got so lucky right there. I don't think he caught any damage in that at all, Ben.
Wow. That was wild. And, to be honest, John, you head through 3 there. You don't really know what's going to be sitting for you in the short shoot. So a spectacular job by all these drivers getting by. Boy, Yoakum there in the 8 cut it real close, and as did a couple other drivers, but some spectacular driving. Everybody avoiding the 00 of Larry Pace, and you're right, John, just a little bit of damage to the rear bumper, and that's it.
Well, I'll tell you what this does, though. This is going to bring some doubt now into Bowie's mind. Does he stay out? Now, you know that if he stays out, they only had, 1 lap? I'm guessing that if he stays out, the people behind him just might go in and pull a little number on him. I don't know. We'll see. It's only been 1 lap, though. But I just noticed something, Ben. Our man, Anthony DeBarro, who was up there in the top 5 before those last caution flag pit stops, is way back there in the back of the field. He was dead last, actually, on the lead lap. I'm wondering if he got a pit stop penalty of some sort.
Could have been, and if that's the case, then pit stops not being his friend this race. Remember on the first one, John, he slid through the box, and that kind of shuffled him back through the pits, and now he's looking to have problems either making it through the field or either again down on pit road having issues. So we'll see what everybody does down here. I assume we'll see a couple guys come in, maybe top off, maybe get a handful of tires, but here we go. So we'll see as Bowie and the rest of the field gonna stay out. It was we didn't even complete a lap there, John. Didn't even make it back to the flag stand, so not a whole lot of wear on these tires.
No, not at all, Ben. And I was looking at the DeBarro. I don't think he got a penalty. You know what I think he did? I think he went in and topped off. I was watching the replay of his pit stop. I think what he's planning on doing here, Ben, is stretching it for the rest of the race from where he's at now.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's certainly a possibility. Let's see if we can't chat with one of the drivers in the field. He was He sits third right now, Dave Comstock, in that 42. Heading into tonight, just 6 points out of the lead. And looking good so far. Dave Comstock, Ben Kilcrease in the SRN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how's it going?
No, it's going good up here in the booth. How's it doing on track for you there in the 42?
It's super tight. I'm not liking it. Clean air's big, track position's big. So just trying to save the right front and just save the car and try to be there at the end.
On this restart, you'll have a driver with 2 tires, or 2 new tires, versus pretty much the rest of the field on 4 tires, with Jacoby in front of you, you and the rest of the field behind you. How do you feel the 88's going to shape up here? You think you're going to blow by him pretty quick here on this restart? Take your time with him.
Pick or choose. I think it's going to be a disadvantage for him. We didn't run that many laps on the tires, so maybe it'll help him out for turning into the corner to help rotate it better. But I think it'll affect like his entry and stuff. So just try to pick and time the pass right, because I feel like 4 tires is better than 2. So just try to do it where you're not going to lose a lot of momentum, because it's really big here, and try to get by as quick as we can and get as many stage points as we can here coming up.
Sounds like a plan. It'll be right after the restart. How's the fuel looking like in that 42 Camaro?
Saving all we can just to make sure. I don't want to have what we had happen on Sunday again.
Good deal. We'll let you get back at it. Dave Comstock looking to head out of here with a good point stay at Indianapolis heading into the finale. So here we go, John, as we get set to go back racing. It's you heard it there. Fuel he's saving, so it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are going to shape up on this run to the finish. If we go green from here on out, it's going to be wild.
Absolutely, and it's not the first time we've seen one of these Xfinity races come down to fuel, Ben. Like Dave just mentioned the other night, Sunday night, that came down to fuel, and we've seen some guys excel at saving fuel, and we've seen some guys excel but still not make it to the end which they needed. And then we've seen some guys who just didn't care at all about fuel mileage and just want to get as many positions as they could before they had to pit. So a lot of different strategies, a lot of different games going on here, mind games going on here, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Absolutely, and if you're wondering what exactly happened on Sunday, be sure to head back to our YouTube archive. You can find out youtube.com/the Sim Racing Network and watch the finish of that one. Boy, it was exciting. Tonight's broadcast, part of SRN's Triple Threat streaming live to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So no matter what platform you're watching on, or even watching the replay, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe, follow on whatever platform. Get social with us right here on the Sim Racing Network. Find us on Facebook, give us a like, and follow us on Twitter at @DSimRacing or at @DSRN_. As we set to go racing back here at Indianapolis. Again, just a short little stint there, John, less than a lap. I think, I kind of said these guys would get in line. We may see a full flag-to-flag race. I may have jinxed it there. These guys getting pretty antsy on these restarts, but that just goes to show you how important track position is.
Absolutely, and I tell you what, the further we get, or actually the closer we get, and we're going to go green on halfway by, the more antsy they're going to get, Ben. You're going to talk about 30 laps, and 30 laps is a long way at Indianapolis, folks. But 30 laps to get it done. So you have to weigh how aggressive you want to be inside that 30 laps before I don't even know what the hell I'm trying to say now. I'm sorry. I got myself turned around. Damn it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here.
Dog.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun one as we get set to restart here. We'll restart with 1 to go in the stage. Of course, halfway points being given halfway in the race. So, Comstock trying to pick up as much points as he can here in the halfway point of this race, as is Cohen. Look at there, championship leader right in the mix as well. Top 4 are in the championship standings, top 5 in the championship, trying to get as much points as they can here in the stage, and then from there on out trying to obviously get as much points as they can in the race. Pace car set to head on down to pit road. Going to see who's going to be the leader. At halfway, they'll stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. 1 lap to go to halfway, and 31 laps to go to the checkered.
That was an interesting restart right there. I don't know where Bowie was going, but he ducked way down by the pit wall and then shot back up and got in line there. Takes the lead, though. In the meantime, behind him, Comstock bidding for that second spot, trying to get that away from Jason Jacoby on the outside in that 39, and they are really duking it out right there for that second spot there, Ben.
They are, but boy, Jacoby got a good run, at least off 1 and down into 2 and down the back straightaway. Comstock breaks off, tries to get a hint of draft from the other RacingVids.com Camaro. Brandon Bowie down into turn 3. Didn't really work there. He's pulled up to the quarter panel, almost to the door of Jacoby on the front straightaway. And look at Cohan there, the championship leader. He may try and snag a point at the line. It's going to be a good race for second. Bowie's going to win the stage, but a tight side-by-side battle. It may come down to 1 point next weekend, or next week rather, and if it does do that, Jacoby may have the advantage. That goes to show you how important the race to halfway is. So finish it halfway was Bowie, Jacoby, Comstock, Cohen, and Edson. And now, you know, it's since we got that out of the way, we can kind of just maybe relax for a little bit, get in line, and try and race this thing to the end.
Oh, you're a funny guy. Relax.
Let me scratch that.
3 wide on the backstretch. Relax, man. You even know who you're talking about here? It's the Sim500 guys. They don't know the definition of relax. Look at this fight now we got. Whoa. Now, I'm not real sure if Jacoby's just trying to save his tires now. He got that extra point there at halfway, or what his game plan is there, but he gave up that spot now. The Comstock falls in line right there. But meanwhile, behind him, the 10 car of Trey Edson just kind of snuck in there and kind of suckered those 2 guys right there and took that spot away from both Nick Cohan and the 22 car, who's somebody we had not talked about, but that's Nelson Rivera. Where's he been all night?
Well, Rivera started 10th and has, fluctuated around there all night long and has finally made his bid for the top 5 here as we close in on the end of the race.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. A little quiet there, kind of peeking around now and kind of showing up, but he just got into the wall a little bit there. I saw some sparks off his car. Might have brushed a little bit of paint off that right rear quarter getting into the wall there. But in the meantime, it looks like we're back to single file racing in the top 10 there, Ben. But back here, and I guess about, looks like 12th and 13th. I'm sorry, 11th and 12th. We've got some pretty good fighting going on. We've got Chad Cole in the 82 there. We got Dwayne Vincent over there. Both those guys trying to work their way back up into the top 10.
Remember not last week, this past Sunday in the Xfinity cars, John, we never mentioned Chad Cole. I don't even think he qualified. And, at the end of the race, we're talking to him on the podium, and it came down to a fuel strategy race. If this comes down to fuel, I'm keeping my eye on that 82. I call it the Internet Explorer car. I can't recall the exact sponsor, but the logo on the hood there looks like the Internet Explorer, and I think I just hope the big cat doesn't crash like Internet Explorer is known for.
That's what I'm saying. Do they even have Internet Explorer anymore? I'm not really sure about that. I haven't used that.
It's so irrelevant. Yeah.
It really is, man. But now I'll tell you what I have used, Ben. I used it just today. See that car behind him, Tabasco? Yes, sir. I'm telling you, man, I live about 20 minutes from the plant where they make that. And if you haven't had Tabasco sauce on your eggs, there's something wrong with you.
And in the car right behind him, everybody should have a little bit of that Kickass beef jerky.
I wish I could, but nobody that I know has sent me any.
Well, to grab your own, John, just head over to kickassbeefjerky.com, shipping to all over America, and you can even be eligible for free shipping. Go and try all their flavors today. Kickass beef jerky. It's just that good.
I heard this rumor that you take care of your color commentators. You send them presents and stuff. And I mean, here, my birthday and Christmas have already gone by. Easter's coming up. I haven't gotten a gift. I'm just letting you know.
Well, maybe the Easter bunny will put some Kick-Ass beef jerky in your basket.
He'd better. I'm having rabbit stew for dinner. I'm just saying.
Up front, wow, Comstock got a little piece of the wall as they close in on Brandon Bowie for the lead. That's the top 3 all tail to nose as they race down into turn number 1. This battle shaping up really good up front, and too far back, or not too far back rather, is the 10 of Edson and Cohan. They're in the mix as well, ready to strike. And how about Anthony DeBarro? John, we were talking about how he was dead last in this past caution, almost dead last. He's up to 7th in the 27.
Oh, he took a lot of advantage on that last restart with everybody getting squirrely. He snuck by on the outside, passed a couple guys on the inside going to 1. Did it really good, didn't make any mistakes, and now he finds himself back up here in 7th. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, Ben, that he can actually make it all the way on the fuel he's got. So if this thing goes green, he should be good to go. As a matter of fact, after this last caution, I'm guessing probably everybody is. Now, what I'd like to see is how aggressive is he going to be trying to get up there and maybe get the win.
Well, he's closed up to the lead pack, and he's on the bumper. As we go back up front, here comes Comstock to the inside of Bowie into turn 1, and boy, Jacoby said, I saw a hole and I was about to fill it with that 39 machine, and off turn number 2. Comstock going to have the lead. Bowie sits second, but here comes a strong charge from Jacoby. Good run down the back straightaway for the 39. He'll make the look to the inside. That'll be a battle for runner-up.
I've got a feel, Ben, that this is probably what happens to the 2 tires. Eventually, they're going to start giving up on him a little bit. Car's probably not handling as good as he'd like it to now, so he's going to start dropping to the back, it looks like. So give that second spot now to Jason Jacoby in the 39, and it looks like Edson wants to get up the next position up there. He's going to put himself at the 3rd, and, man, I tell you what, Bowie is starting to fall like a rock.
That he is. He'll be under fire from Cohan over the next lap or so if he's not careful. But up front, it's David Comstock back to the lead, and he says he's been saving in that 42. He didn't quite save enough on Sunday night in the same car, different track, and he was, on the lack of a better words, John, disgusted as we're on board with the 42 as he works down off of turn 2 and down to the back straightaway. It's going to come down to, I think who's going to save not only their tires the most, but who's going to save enough fuel in this one. 37 down of 60, and Jacoby in that 39 starting to maybe inch forward into that lead of Dave Comstock.
He is inching forward, like you said, but I'm not real sure that's just because Comstock's still not trying to save a little bit of fuel. But in the meantime, I was just looking at something back here. It looks to me like the 10 car's got some damage on his nose. Not real sure where that came from, but that could affect the heating on his car if he gets too close up to the back end of Jacoby or anybody else for that.
Whoa, Cohan jumps sideways.
Save.
That's the championship leader, and I guarantee you that is coming from a very low front brake bias. A lot of rear brake in these cars. And car to turn, they're doing everything, John. The tight setup, and we watched the replay, and that's exactly what it was. It was to the inside of Bowie and just trying to get everything he could, and a spectacular moment there down into turn number 1. Some great driving from the championship leader heading into tonight. Absolutely great driving.
I mean, not only did he look at how loose he was. I mean, he got loose, but he got sideways, but he also got down in the grass. And I mean, man, not a lot of guys could save that car right there, Ben. And the great thing is he didn't take anybody out with him. So kudos, great driving there on Cohan.
I've had the same exact thing happen to me in the Cup car in the Winter Cup Series. We ran over the winter. We broadcasted the championship finale, but we were here at Indy, and I was having a great race. And I do believe I was around top 5, John, and I'd ran the same brake bias all race long on 2 to go, trying to run down 4th. I go into turn 1 a little bit harder, jump on the brakes a little bit harder as well, and it just jumps sideways. I mean, almost like it turns left. It feels like you almost break something in the car. It jumps out so quick on you, and it really scares you, but he did a great job saving, and I wasn't so lucky. I ended up into the safer barrier. But while we were talking about that, Trey Edson gets his way around Jacoby, and pretty easy pass there. I think Jacoby kind of pulled over, let him have it, at least for the time being.
Yeah, he probably looked up and saw, whoa, look at DeBarro getting way out of shape. Almost got into the back of the pit wall there. He gathered that up fairly well, but man, these guys are starting to get a little slick there, Ben. What's crazy is they haven't been out on track that very long. It's like they've only been out, 10 laps. That's it. But these cars are starting to get a little squirrely. Maybe it's because they're, they got that sense of the pending end of this race, and they're trying to get up there and drive the car a little bit harder than they were. But you were touching on brake bias. It doesn't bite me in the ass so much turning and going into turns, Ben, it gets me trying to get into the pits when I forget to turn it back before pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, on a green flag
that's
pit
got
stop.
me too. Man, oh man, what a race though here at Indy. It's been spectacular up front and throughout the field. Good battle still going on for that second spot. Jacoby kind of let Edson by, but he hasn't really fallen back a lot. He may just let him by. John got in his draft and was now just saving his stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was about to touch on there. He's not lost any ground at all to Edson. He's locked on those back bumper right there. Maybe Jacoby's just trying to save some tires for the end of the race. We still have about 20 laps to go now. Maybe he's just trying to just take it a little easy till maybe 6 or 7 laps to go, then start setting him up for a pass.
Could be. Coming to 19 to go here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're going to take a quick commercial break. It'll be one of our final ones of the night, so we're going to take this time to pay some bills. We'll be right back here on the Sim Racing Network. Grab some popcorn. It's going to get interesting as we race to the checkered flag here in the second to last race of the season. We'll be back on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Indy Pit Road. Going to be a busy place, at least for now. Nick Silver, Brendan Bowie pull out of the pack to head down pit side, and we'll see if that's going to shape up anything, John. That's almost splitting this run in half for those guys. Went back green on lap 29. It's lap 44 now, so a 31-lap run, about 15, or about right now, would be the halfway point of that. We'll see if anybody else decides to head on down to pit road. We have a couple more takers in the back of the pack. Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum going to make it down the pit side this time as well. So pit stop starting to happen here in the final half of this race.
Well, I was going to say, if they don't mess up anything, if they get out of the pits okay without getting any penalties, they should be okay and not find themselves going a lap down. They came out way ahead of the leader. I'm wondering if maybe I miscalculated on my fuel mileage there. Does everybody else have to pit too, you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think Comstock was maybe talking about saving enough to make it on one more stop, and if that's the case, that looks like what's going on here at Indy. So we're going to have to just wait and see. I mean, he's safely halfway through this half of the stage too. Here comes DeBarro. So definitely coming down for pit stops. DeBarro going to give up the 6th position. He makes it to 60 mile an hour perfectly there. Yeah. So we're looking at about, maybe 15, 17, 18 laps on a fuel run.
Wow, not a whole lot there. So yeah, I guess they're all just trying to split this thing down the middle, make sure they've got enough to go all the way. I wonder how long Comstock's going to stay out. I mean, we're talking about guys on brand new tires now. Granted, they're way back on the back of the pack, but last time by, Bowie, let's see, he'll be turning a lap here shortly. We had a lap time for him and compare it to our leader. Last time by, Comstock ran a 56.332, which ain't too bad. It's only about a second and a half off of his qualifying speeds. This time by, Bowie turns a 53.7, so that's 3 seconds. Wow, a lot more than I thought. Got any thoughts on that?
Just thinking here, John. If
doing math for you?
Yeah, I'm really working
Better
the calculator. Maybe a fuel run is 25 or 26, 27 laps, and these guys are maybe trying to save it enough to go on one stop. That's another possibility. Now we're just guesstimating. We don't know the exact fuel run. We didn't get a chance to sit down with any drivers. Comstock didn't give us a lot of information except for the fact that he was saving. Yeah.
They're worse than some of those Cup crew chiefs you see on TV. Hey, how are you looking on fuel? Oh, we're looking good. And they're like, how are we looking? Oh, we're looking good. How far can you go? We can go pretty good. I'm like, that's got to be,
or we're cutting it close. How close?
Yeah.
We're going to be close.
We're going to be close. How close? We'll be close. I can do this all day. How about you?
My, oh my. Here we
Usually,
go.
though, I like to do laps in the same car, on the same track, the same setup and whatnot to try and get an idea of that. I just wasn't able to sit down and do that today, and I haven't driven Xfinity cars on Indy in quite some time, so I'm clueless as to how far they can actually push a tank.
Absolutely. So, it's, it may turn into one of those sort of fuel strategy races like we saw on Sunday night, and if it does that, boy, we are in for a show. That race was really, really exciting, John. We had a blast calling that one. We didn't know who was going to win. It came down to a last lap pass that saw Steph Marinak down in victory lane, but man, oh man, what a show, and this is really starting to shape up like that one, if you ask me.
Now, we're assuming that Comstock, Edson, and Jacoby have to stop. That may not be the case. But if they do, Ben, here's an interesting point of fact for you. Brandon Bowie, who's already made what we are thinking is his final stop for the day, is only 36.6 seconds behind our leader. And it's going to take them about that long to get into and out of the pits if they take foreign fuel.
It's true.
So this could shape up, if it goes green all the way, it could shape up to be one hell of a race as far as fuel mileage and then how close these guys are to each other when they come out of the pits. Wow. Man, DeBarro just about ran somebody over back there. Nick Silver looked like, I don't think he expected Silver to check up quite so much coming off of 4, but he did. And they're fighting for that position right now.
That'll be, around the 20th position, and these guys, even with pitting, John, not a lap down, so
no, not at all.
They can kind of comfortably battle without having to worry about if a caution comes out, them being able to be in the lucky dog position. So here we go, 11 laps to go at Indianapolis, second to last race of the season, and to be running for 20 laps, these top three really closing in on one another and really starting to provide us with a good show.
Absolutely. I was just about to touch on that, too. It looks like Trey Edson and Jacoby have both closed the gap on Comstock, but that begs the question, are they closing the gap on Comstock, or is Comstock getting a little easier on that throttle, trying to make sure he can get all the way to the end? I am baffled by the strategy here, Ben. It's that lack of information. We don't know how far these three can go on a tank of fuel, but I guess we're going to find out sometime in the next 11 or 10 and a half laps, I should say.
Yeah, we will. And boy, if it's going to be one of those stressful races like Sunday where it comes down to the end,
I've got my oxygen tank and my drugs ready.
I can't take much more of these.
I've got my oxygen tank sitting on one side of me, my blood pressure pills all laid out on my desk right here. I got a glass of water ready for it. I'm good. I'm good.
Man, these
But look at
guys
this fight
just,
up front, Ben. I mean,
yeah.
Trey Edson and Jacoby have really closed the gap on Comstock. Now, I'm just like I said, I'm thinking that Comstock is probably just trying to save enough fuel to both stay in front of these two, but make it to the end.
I agree, and
That's what he does.
That's exactly what he does. These guys are just, they're masters at everything. Tire conservation, fuel strategy, racing in a pack, saving a car, you name it. These guys are just the best at it. And I was going to make a point there, John. Out of all we've probably called close to 50, 75, maybe even 100 Sim500 races now. And I cannot look back to one of them and say that I was not entertained, even in the slightest bit. Every race the Sim500 group puts out is just phenomenal. I mean, either it's side-by-side racing, hard racing, or a fuel strategy race like this, or like Sunday. No matter where we are, what track, what car, these guys put on a heck of a show.
Absolutely 1,000% agree with you on that, Ben. And I want to clarify something for all of those that have been out there and have been watching Ben and myself and Don Runkle call these races. Mitch calls them every once in a while. Sometimes we'll spend a lot of time talking about certain drivers. And I want y'all to understand that's no way a slight to the rest of the guys in Sim500. Each and every one of these guys is a brilliant driver. I've done laps with them. Ben drives with them on a couple of nights. He'll back me up on this. These guys are some of the best sim drivers I've ever seen in sim racing. That being said, what you guys see up front right now, these three up front are probably three, I would say probably the top five of all the Sim500 drivers. Ben, would you back me up on that?
Absolutely. I mean, these top three are definitely ranked up there, and I mean it's hard to rank a top five in Sim500 because we have so many great drivers. I was going to touch on one driver that's made his way from 19th up to 6th. That's the 82 of Chad Cole. We talked about if this race came down to a fuel strategy deal. Well, it's starting to look that way, John. And remember where Chad Cole started on Sunday. I think it was outside the top 30, and he made his way up to a podium position somehow, some way in the final lap or so of that race. And it's looking to be the same sort of instance here. And not only is he good at fuel strategy, he is a great tire conserver. He knows how to race on worn out tires. He knows how to save his stuff. He knows how to get to the front. And look how loose that car is on entry, John. He has really got the brakes jacked towards the back end of that machine and really helping turn that 82 down into the turn.
Absolutely. And, that's another thing. We touched about this the other night. A lot of these guys in Sim500 can drive a loose race car. Even though this setup is built tight, like you said, they can play with the brake bias. They can play with a couple other things to make this thing a little bit looser for them as the run goes on. And, hell, some of these track and tire combinations, Ben, that damn thing is loose anyway. And Absolutely. These guys excel at not only driving that loose race car, but making it work for them and not abusing those tires when it gets loose. That's what I love about calling these races with you guys and watching these Sim500 guys. It's so impressive to me, and I actually learn a lot from watching these guys.
And you really can. You can. I personally learned. I'm a driver in the Trans Service Cup Series on Monday, and watching these guys throughout the week and calling this and just even their strategy. I learn a lot just from sitting up here in the booth and calling the races. I think it's really been a benefit to my driving career as well. And talk about a story changer. How about that for a plot twist?
That is going to it's going to piss a few people off, I can promise you. But the question is, do you think we're going to go back to green?
I think we will. And that caution, though, was from Anthony DeBarro getting into the back of Brandon Bowie. And, nothing against DeBarro, but he straight up turned him.
Oh, it looks that way. Yeah, I mean, he got up on him and never got off the gas. And it looks like Bowie was able to keep it off the fence. No damage done, but that's going to wreck his chances of finishing anywhere in the top 5.
Yeah, Bowie, we talked about it. He took the old tires. He was back in the 19th or 18th position, and DeBarro on new tires. Just maybe a little bit more patience there would have paid off. But nonetheless, that puts us under caution for the 4th time tonight. It will certainly be the final caution of the night, or at least the final one that will give us a shot at finishing this race, or hopefully we'll get a shot to finish this race as Comstock comes off of turn number 2 to catch the pace car. You see he's not in really any hurry to catch the pace car, because the quicker he catches the pace car, the quicker we go back green.
That's right. Not only that, but these
guys know the game.
Thing off. They know all the tricks, Ben. That's what it is. These guys know all the tricks. So that's something I would have never thought of until you mentioned it just now, to be completely honest with you. Take your time getting up to that pace car. But yeah, and I tell you what, with only 23 cars on the pace lap, Ben, I doubt very seriously we're going to see anybody pit for anything right here. I'm sure these guys are all at max conserve on their fuel right now. Tires are out the window. They're not going to have enough time to pit, come out in 8th or 9th, and then try and fight their way back up. So I don't foresee anybody coming in. But then again, these guys have a knack for making me look like a dumbass.
Well, we'll see as heading down the front straightaway. Who thinks we're going back green? I can guarantee you whoever's down pit road thinks we are.
Oh, my God.
Talk about mixed emotions.
Wow.
Comstock gives up the lead. A good 5, 6, 7 cars stay out. It's going to be a wild finish here at Indy, and you'll catch it live right here on the Sim Racing Network.
Absolutely crazy.
Whoa, we're going to catch our breath in order to call that finish for you. It's coming up.
I got to get
here.
In the tank. I'll be right back.
Here shortly. We'll be back on the SRN.
Swap out the hoses.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Hello, Watson. Welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And John,
sir,
I know you've changed out the hoses and everything on your oxygen tank, but here we go. It's going to be
Let me take these last 2 heart pills. Hold on a second.
Lap shootout to the finish, and boy, I don't know if we're ready for this. It is going to be insane.
I believe the term for this is chaos. I don't know. Let's count this down for folks. So the top 8, all the way back to Larry Pace, these guys have not come in at all. They have old tires, and some of them older than other guys in front of them. But basically, they're all on the older tires. E.J. O'Rourke took 2, as did, I believe, Nelson Rivera. So our first car on 4 tires is going to be Comstock back here in 11th, who was just leading this race. So with a 1-lap shootout, my God, man.
Yeah, he gave up the lead in order to come down and, boy, talk about a gamble. It is going to be a 1-lap shootout to settle this. Trey Edson chooses the outside.
That is a interesting choice. That's a very interesting choice.
Well, we've seen all night.
But you've got to look though, Ben, at who he's got down on his inside. If it was anybody other than Mr. Excitement down there, I wouldn't be too concerned about this. But Jacoby is hungry for a win, man.
I don't think Edson even has this race in his mind when he chose the outside line. Look who sits on the inside of the second row. The championship leader heading into tonight. We've already seen that no matter what line is behind the leader is always going to get the better jump. In this instance, most likely will be the outside line. Had he chose the inside, that would bring Cohan, possibility of getting Cohan another position, another point. And when you're in a championship battle, every point is going to be worth it. So, we haven't seen a side-by-side battle for the lead heading down into 1 after a restart. We know that. So, with that in mind, we think Edson's going to clear Jacoby, or that's at least what Edson's hoping. And he's hoping that Jacoby's going to hold off Cohan
right now.
yeah, Cohan back and maybe pick up some extra points there. So not only is he playing this race in his mind, but I think he's leaning more towards the championship. We'll find out. We've got 2.5 laps to settle what has been a wild race to begin with. They stack him up. Edson's in the wall. Jacoby is sideways. Everybody's sideways. We're racing. Jacoby spins in front of the field. Cohan gets by. Cohan's going to win the race. Cohan wins the race at Indy.
We knew it was going to happen. What did I say?
Much for getting as much points on Cohan as you could.
Oh my goodness, that was just. But we called it. We called it, Ben. We absolutely called that. Wait a minute. Jacoby's going around. Did Jacoby get scored? Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. But still, he might pick up a second place.
Wow. Get the replay.
Unbelievable. That was
buckle up, because everybody inside everybody. That was the whole field involved there.
I mean, it started with Edson on the outside. He did spin his tires a little bit, but he really actually managed to gather it back in with the help of the outside wall, but he bottled up that whole second row. But then Jacoby started spinning them and did not get back in control of them, and it was just chaos from there, man.
Wow.
And all this before they crossed the line.
Yeah, exactly. So Cohan is going to be one happy camper. The championship leader heading into tonight, going to extend his lead significantly over the rest of the field. He'll have an easier night come next week at Michigan. Off of turn number 4, Cohan is going to win in a wild, wild way here at Indy.
Wild, that's not even, that doesn't even cover it. That doesn't even cover it. All that destruction and chaos happened before they even got to the start-finish line. That's gotta hurt your heart right there for Edson, who didn't even stay long enough. He left, and of course he had to tow. Apparently his motor was. He got bounced around, Ben, by 5 or 6 cars. So, man, that's insane.
Final results are going to move Jacoby back to 5th. Chad Cole will finish 2nd. Michael Keaton will finish on the podium.
Wow. Keaton from 23rd to 3rd. 23rd to 3rd. Survives all that chaos. Man, I tell you what, that's just, that's insane.
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
We're going to take, actually, John, I'll let you work your way down to pit road while I run through the top 10. And
10-4.
we won't even take a commercial break here. We'll go ahead straight into podium interviews. Nick Cohen going to come home with the win. Chad Cole 2nd. 3rd to Michael Keaton. Nelson Rivera 4th. Jason Jacoby 5th. 6th to E.J. O'Rourke. 7th to Chris Caboo. 8th to Tyler Young. Matthew Welsenbach will finish 9th, and 10th to Dave Comstock. And John has hustled down to pit road to catch up with the driver who finished 3rd.
Michael Keaton, buddy, where the hell did you come from?
I told the guys in the channel, I said, I am staying out. And, wow, did it not pay off or what for me? I mean, I hate it for Trey. They're spinning his tires there, but you know what? At the same time, I got me a 3rd place finish. Woo!
Well, congratulations on that, sir. Man, this race did not disappoint. We've been hyping you guys all night long about how excited these races have gotten, and you guys didn't disappoint, none whatsoever, man. So congratulations on that 3rd place finish. You got anybody you want to thank for it besides the guys that spun their tires?
Yeah, obviously, Piedmont sponsored my car because that's where my wife gets her check from, and she allows me to do this and have a lot of fun doing it. Appreciate you guys up in the booth, Sim500, everybody who races with us. We've got a good group of guys, fast guys, very competitive league. So, yeah, I can't wait to tell her I finished 3rd. Staying up late paid off tonight.
Well, congratulations again, Michael, on surviving the unfortunate incidents there at the end of it. Get yourself a good podium finish, 3rd place. And, man, we'll see you next week. All right, bud?
Yep. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Michael Keaton. Michael Batman Keaton, as we like to call him, finished in 3rd place there, Ben. I'm going to go see if I can hunt down our 2nd place finisher, Chad Cole.
An excited 3rd place there for Michael Keaton up on the podium here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Staying up late pays off tonight. Now we're going to send it down to John Mushton, who's caught up with a big cat, Chad Cole.
Believe it or not, Ben, the big cat is not hunting down the hot dog cart today. He's over here at the Philly cheesesteak cart. How you doing? How you doing, Chad? How you doing, bud? Congratulations on surviving the chaos and mayhem at the end of that race and getting yourself a 2nd place.
I appreciate it. Chaos and mayhem is an understatement. That was a really big mess right there. I really like to see what happened to get that caution at 6 to go, and then I want to watch the replay of that restart too, because that was just an absolute cluster. I have no idea how I got 2nd out of that. I thought
you didn't blow up. That's how you got it.
I guess. I mean, as the old saying is, you must first finish to finish first. So I didn't finish first, but we'll take the 2nd. I'm just really confused right now.
Well, man, I tell you, from up in the booth, it wasn't so much confusing as heart-stopping for us. I mean, to let you know, you'll see on the review, but a couple of guys spun their tires, of course. Unfortunately, those 2 guys just happened to be on the front row, and the chaos that ensued, a lot of you guys were able to get through there and get you some good podium finishes. Do you have anybody you want to thank for your 2nd place run tonight?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Personal Comfort. I got them on the car tonight, and my as Ben calls it, my Internet Explorer car. But Personal Comfort is a sponsor, and also Kickass beef jerky for sponsoring the series here tonight. And SRN, you guys do a fabulous job. I always love giving you a shout out to John Mustang.
Oh, thank you. I feel fabulous, so apparently I sound fabulous as well.
That's
right.
But
tell you what, Chad, you guys never disappoint. We just want to thank you for providing such jolly entertainment for us to broadcast. Congratulations again on your 2nd place run, bud.
Hey, thank you, guys.
And that was our 2nd place finisher. Never a dull moment here, Ben. Never, ever a dull moment here at SRN.
Not at all. I love these guys. We pick on them a little bit. They pick back. I love it. Now I've made my way down to Victory Lane and to catch up with championship leader heading into tonight, and probably going to have the lead heading out as well. Nick, everybody has been speechless. I hope you've got something to say. What a race. Talk about that final restart. Going to be a one-lap shootout. Did you think you were going to win? First of all, did you think you were going to win? Second of all, how are you going to make the pass? And I can guarantee you probably didn't think it was going to be the way you did.
That's 2 weeks in a row. I lucked into. I totally lucked into one because I have not had the speed that I wanted to. And last week I took 4 tires and I won it by taking the fresh tires. This week I stayed out, and that happened. I guess it's better to be lucky than good tonight, because I was not good tonight. I was pretty frustrated, just like last week. But when we were under caution there, after I decided to stay out, I was like, man, I bet you there's gonna be a lot of wheel spin. And I tried it once in second gear. I'm like, whoa, there's gonna be a ton of wheel spin, and nobody in front of me tried it. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And as soon as the leader went, I saw it. I'm like, oh boy. So I just feathered it, and I tried to go. I thought Jacoby had it saved up. I tried to go through the middle, and then he just turned right, and I tried to get on the brakes to avoid him, but he just came right into my nose, and just got really lucky there. I think I was maybe one of the only top 5 cars who knew there was going to be a lot of wheel spin there, because it really grabbed. Even on fresh tires, you could kind of feel it a little bit. So I figured, especially 30 plus laps on those tires, it was going to be wild. But it really sucks to end it that way, because I think up front we had a good race going. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't take care of my tires good that run. I almost wrecked half the field going into one the one time. And, I was happy with just salvaging a top 5, and kind of like last week. So I guess I'll take it again.
There you go. That's like me. If I can get lucky, I'm gonna take it no matter what. You have had a little bit of damage after some contact with Jacoby there, but man, oh man, it doesn't matter. You're in victory lane here. Who do you want to thank for putting you in victory lane and really setting you up nice for next week at Michigan to go chase that championship?
Just got to thank Target for being on the car, CG Automotive, all my teammates at Motorsports PMS. You guys for putting this broadcast together, and thanks to Kickass Beef Jerky for sponsoring this series. They do an awesome job sponsoring this league, so thanks to them.
Congrats on the win again, and we look forward to seeing you next week in Michigan.
Thanks, guys.
There you have it, Nick Cohan, John. He started out a little speechless, and then he found the words. Thank God. What a race, man.
Never a dull moment, man.
Absolutely not. That ended... Yeah, I don't know any other word besides carnage, but that, we couldn't ask for a better race prior to that point. I mean, these guys put on one heck of a show. We knew it was going to be wild. We knew it was going to come down to maybe some cars going into the wall and some spinning out, but I don't think we really thought about the magnitude of the incident on the final lap there. That's going to shape us up really, really nice heading into Michigan for a spectacular championship battle. Cohan has a 13-point lead over Nelson Rivera, 15 back to Comstock, 16 back to Pace, and 20 back to Brandon Bowie. So Cohan, just a clean race for the driver of the number 21 next week, and we may be talking to him again as a champion of the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series.
I'm willing to bet if we get down to the same situation next week, and the same people do the same choices, he's probably going to elect to start further back, maybe pit, maybe just duck down the pits, let a couple guys go by him, something like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's gonna be a fun one. You'll catch that next Wednesday night right here on the Sim Racing Network as well. But as we head out of Indy, John, any final thoughts from what turned into a fuel strategy race, a tire saving mode, and well, we had the big one there at the end as well.
Well, I can't say this enough. Even though we saw chaos and mayhem at the end of this race, Ben, it was still a fantastic race from start to finish in my mind. These guys always put on a hell of a show. Yes, there were probably some bad decisions made at the end of this race, but that's part of racing. It happens in real life and it happens in sim racing, and you cannot fault these guys for doing what they thought was in the best interest for them to win the race. That being said, goddamn, what a race!
That was a great race, and thank everybody for tuning in live right here on the Sim Racing Network. That'll do it for us tonight. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night when we have the Sarah Dreamer Super Series live right here on the Sim Racing Network. For John Mushton and Aaron Grosskopf, I am Ben Kilcrease saying good night from the Brickyard. And remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. We'll see you next time.